say that we are at a understanding level that 0 to 6 months is where babies get enough milk from the mother. They are exclusively breastfed according to the WHO guidelines. But when we are talking about complementary food, we have to understand the word first. What do you mean by complement? उसको हम लोग कैसे किस रूप से हम लोग प्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं? कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फीडिंग इसका मतलब होता है हमारे ब्रेस्ट मिल्क या स्तनपान के हिसाब से और एक कौन सा खाना जो हम बच्चों को दे सकते हैं जिसके कारण उनका न्यूट्रिशन जो है वो हैम्पर नहीं हो जाएगा और उसके साथ साथ उसका न्यूट्रिशन उनके हेल्थ को बैलेंस आउट कैसे करता है उनके रूटीन एक्टिविटीज़ के लिए। ये बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट बात होती है कि 6 महीने के बाद हम हमारे नवजात शिशु को धीरे धीरे दूसरी चीज़ों का सेवन करवाना शुरू कर देंगे जिसके कारण उनकी सेहत बनी रहेगी। So complementary is nothing but starting different kinds of food to the you know to the actual food that we want to introduce to your child, but there is a step by step process in which we have to follow. Number 1, when we say that the child is around 6 months of age, by definition that he has completed 180 days of the tenure of life, we go to a doctor, we take our child to the doctor and then we ask the doctor कि मेरा बच्चा 6 महीने का हो चुका है और मुझे इसको खाना खिलवाना है तो मैं कैसे शुरू कर सकती हूँ? The doctor or the pediatrician normally says that you can start giving sips of water or sips of dal water, rice water. ये जो पानी का जो हम लोग सेवन बोलते हैं इसका महत्वपूर्ण यहाँ पे इसलिए होता है क्योंकि जो बच्चा नवजात शिशु होता है उसकी स्टमक का डाइजेशन बहुत ही वीक रहता है, इसलिए उसके पेट के बल कुछ हार्ड चीज़ें हम लोग इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं कर सकते, इसलिए पानी के रूप में हम लोग नई चीज़ें देना शुरू कर सकते हैं। वी स्टार्ट गिविंग थिंग्स इन द फॉर्म ऑफ लिक्विड्स फर्स्ट बिकॉज द डाइजेस्टिबिलिटी ऑफ द child is very very sensitive, and it is also important that we give this food in a very small quantity. It could be around 2 ml, it could be around 5 ml. We can use a dropper to introduce these things to the child, and it becomes so important, so lovely to understand that the child is accepting something apart from breastfeeding. Number 1. Number 2, we also understand that that kind of a food the child is wanting for. The child gives indications like the tongue is moved out, uh, he is doing a tasting part of it. There is a sensory motor system which is working beautifully in favor of the child. When the child is introducing these foods, these things, so it becomes very easy for us to understand that the child is taking all these things, accepting it slowly, and giving a response which the mother is requiring. Okay, these two things are very very important. Third thing what we have to understand is that when we are when we are doing complementary food, we have to focus on the quantity part of it. Now when I mean quantity, we have to generalize that the quantity cannot be enormous. We cannot go around 100 ml or think of giving 150 ml. We generally start with a small quantity which will be around 5 to 7 ml in the very beginning. Okay, and along with that we also have to understand that when we are doing this, we have to taste things first, we have to check on ourselves, and then we give it to the child. Directly something which is not tasted by us in the initial days would have an adverse effect on the child's health, so we have to taste the things first. Second is complementary feeding is not completely removing or completely stopping of the breast milk. Breastfeeding has to be continued, but in some traditions, in some household things, there are people who completely stop giving breast milk and only support complementary feeding, or the baby is weaned off continuously. In this manner we have to understand that complementary feeding is definitely going to work as a parameter where the child will not be accepting it well, and at a given point of time the child may just throw up on what he is having. This would be the adverse effect if we do not put things of complementary feeding in a right manner. So, step by step process of understanding complementary feeding is: first, we give the food to the child. We understand whether the child has started accepting it. We understand the taste, or whether how the child is taking it in. The child must be giving you some reactions, some kind of involvement is there with the child, making it a very healthy and playful situation where you talk to the child, you tell the child that what you are giving. You are in a very happy note that the child has started. In many cultures, there is a ceremony performed which is known as Annaprashan ceremony, or the food ceremony for the child. Okay, where it is a very important ritual being considered for a child to have a good amount of food. And now over there what happens is, because it is a ceremony, it is a celebration, it is a joy which is being celebrated across the family, the child is given too many things. Like, he's been given sweet, he's given sour, he's given tangy, bitter, salty, and the list is endless. Imagine the child's state of mind at what to taste and what not to taste, though it is a small quantity. Some people use a silver spoon, some people use a golden spoon, some people feel like kesher should be used, some people feel that everything should be given because since I said it's a ritual, puja is being performed for the first offering of food to the child. And in this part it makes a sense that sometimes this kind of a ceremony can be very very useful for the child, but it can have an adverse effect on the next day or the day afterwards. Because in a complementary food, if we are giving too many things, okay, we are offering sweet, we are offering sour, we are offering salty, what happens is the child has a problem of gases, and then the child would be having colic pain, the child would be having some issue with the digestion. The next day the mother would be wondering, are what he must have had, did he have kheer, did he have paisam, did he have something upma which was prepared. And then it becomes a roller coaster ride for the mother, because she is not understanding what is the kind of complementary food which was given to the child during the eating ceremony. Okay, so to understand all these things, we also have homemade therapies which work really well, where we use hing or asafoetida, you know on the stomach of the baby. If the baby is having too much of gases, if the baby is already bloating, or if the baby is in pain because there is some new food which is introduced to the child, baby chakra has also come up with this tummy roll on where the colic pain can be relieved. Okay, you can try using that. When we are talking about complementary feeding, you also have to understand that food is something which has to be cooked soft, and it has to be cooked in a proper state. The best example is you give a mixed khichdi. Okay, now that is a combination of dal and rice. We all know it is a very common recipe done in our household. It is a multi-grain recipe, and it is very very useful across all regions of India. But is it that the on the first day or the second day we give ugu, we give the khichdi? No, we give it step by step. We also take care in understanding that we will be introducing khichdi only when the fact that the child is able to digest this very well. Okay, one thing. Second thing is, in a very small quantity, though you are a family of 3 or 4 members, but for the baby you will be preparing it only like for 3 spoons or 4 spoons initially to start with. Now what do you add in khichdi? You add salt a little bit, you add haldi powder, you can add ghee. Now this uh, you can add lemon juice. Now these all things are something which will be beneficial for the child, and it will improve the taste and it will improve the digestion. One thing. Second, the child will start having a taste reminder. So whenever you are giving a khichdi to a child, the child will start liking it, and it will be, the quantity of khichdi will be more. Second thing is, modifying this khichdi can be, we can add vegetables. Now when we say vegetable, when we say sprouts, people think enormous quantity, बहुत सारा vegetables डालना चाहिए, बहुत सारा sprouts डालना चाहिए. Absolutely not. When we are doing this, we have to understand that we are giving only a small quantity. That means palak leaves, or a small cut piece of carrot, or a small cut piece of potato. Any single vegetable which is a good source of fiber can be added in the khichdi, and which makes the khichdi very, very nutritious. Now everything you are, pressure cooking it. ओके, व्हेन यू आर प्रेशर कुकिंग इट, इट इज कुक्ड सॉफ्ट. सो जब आप खिचड़ी को ठंडा करके बच्चे को खिला रहे हो, उसको उनको हाथ से खिलाना बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. यूजिंग अ स्पून इज ऑल्सो डूएबल, बट खिचड़ी को मिक्सर में से अगर हम लोगों ने निकाला तो वो पतला हो जाता है, और बेबी को swallowing की प्रॉब्लम आ सकती है. यहाँ पे हम लोग भूल जाते हैं कि बच्चे को दाँत आने की कोशिश हो रही है। हर कुछ चीज़ वो चबाने में लगा हुआ रहता है। सलाइवा जो बोलते हैं, मुँह में जो पानी होता है उसको सलाइवा बोलते हैं, वो बाहर आना शुरू रहता है। एंड वी ऑल्सो फॉरगेट दैट द चाइल्ड इज़ निबलिंग ऑन वेरियस टॉयज़, निबलिंग ऑन वेरियस फूड्स. वी हैव टू इंट्रोड्यूस द फूड इन इट्स बेस्ट टेक्सचर, ताकि वो टेक्सचर दिमाग के ऊपर इम्प्रेशन डालता है, और चूइंग हैबिट जो है यहीं से वो फॉर्म होना शुरू हो जाती है. दूसरी बात जो है, हम लोग एक बहुत बड़ी गलती कर देते हैं, जैसे हम फ्रूट्स इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं. फ्रूट्स को नेचुरल फॉर्म में ही इंट्रोड्यूस करना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. एप्पल प्यूरे या बनाना स्टू, या कोई भी फ्रूट को हम लोग कुक नहीं करना चाहिए. यहाँ पे एक वजह ऐसी होती है कि फ्रूट्स में नेचुरल विटामिन्स और मिनरल्स उसके पैदाइशी फॉर्म में ही होते हैं. जैसे एप्पल के स्किन में विटामिन्स होते हैं, बनाना में विटामिन्स होते हैं, मिनरल्स होते हैं. तो अगर हम लोगों ने उसको कुक कर दिया तो वो डेफिनेटली वो लॉस हो जाएगा. और हमको ये समझना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि ये जो विटामिन्स और मिनरल्स है वो नेचुरल फॉर्म में अच्छा रहेगा. तो you can grate a apple, that is one thing doable. Papaya, which is soft. Banana, which is soft. Cucumber, which is also soft or sometimes hard. Chiku is soft. These are some soft foods or some hard foods which you can grate, and you can give the different kind of flavors to the child. Definitely this is going to be very, very important, as it is going to be beneficial in terms of the sensory working factors. Now we have to understand that what do you mean by sensory working factors. हमारे जो टेस्ट बर्ड्स जो है, यहाँ पे हमको ये इम्पोर्टेंस देखने का है कि टेस्ट बर्ड्स को हम लोग एक्टिवेट कर पाएंगे स्वीट, सावर, बिटर टेस्ट के हिसाब से. और ये जब एक्टिवेट हो जाते हैं, तब हम लोगों को ये पहचानना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है कि ये टेस्ट हम लोग बेबी को इक्वल रूप में इंट्रोड्यूस करवाते हैं सिंस द वेरी बिगिनिंग ऑफ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री फूड. क्योंकि अगर ये लेट इंट्रोड्यूस करवाया अराउंड 7th मंथ या 8th मंथ, तो बच्चा टैंट्रम्स थ्रो करना शुरू कर देता है. और जब टैंट्रम्स थ्रो करना शुरू कर देता है, तब वहाँ पे दिक्कतें पैदा हो जाती है अगर हम लोग कुछ नया फूड इंट्रोड्यूस करवा रहे हैं. तो यहाँ पे मैं एक बात बताना चाहूँगी कि जब हम लोग नया फूड इंट्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं बच्चों के लिए, तो एक फूड जो है हफ्ते भर अगर आपने चलाया, खिचड़ी का एक स्पेसिफिक टाइम दिया, उसके बाद एक स्पेसिफिक क्वांटिटी रही, और वही खिचड़ी अगर आपने सोमवार से शुक्रवार सुबह के 11 बजे, मतलब 11 बजे उसको खिलाया, तो वो बच्चे की सेहत बनाता है, बच्चे का एक्सेप्टेंस बढ़ाता है, और बच्चे को अच्छे से उसको खाने में मदद होती है. इसके साथ-साथ आपको ये भी देखने का है कि अगर आप कुछ नया खिलाना चाहते हो, तो एक अलग टाइम रखिए. हर हफ्ते में सिर्फ 2 चीज़ें इनिशियली इंट्रोड्यूस करना बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है. जो अलग अलग चीज़ें होती है, जैसे कुछ फ्रूट्स है, पानी है, कुछ वेजिटेबल सूप है, उसका आप टाइम टेबल बना सकते हो, और आपको कब क्या इंट्रोड्यूस करना है, उस टाइम टेबल के हिसाब से आप जा सकते हो। ये टाइम टेबल इम्पोर्टेंट इसलिए है, जहाँ जिसको हम लोग एक मील प्लान बोलते हैं, ताकि हम लोगों को भी समझ में आ जाए, मदर्स को भी समझ में आ जाए कि हमारे फीडिंग स्केड्यूल के बीच में अगर हम लोगों ने नया फूड इंट्रोड्यूस करना शुरू कर दिया, एक नए रूप में इंट्रोड्यूस करना शुरू कर दिया, तो बच्चे आसानी से उसकी टेस्ट पिकअप कर लेते हैं, हमको बनाने में दिक्कत नहीं होती है, और बच्चे जो है वो चबाने की कोशिश करना शुरू करते हैं। जो 3 चीज़ें मैंने अभी कही है कि हमारा काम आसान करते हैं, फीडिंग शेड्यूल सेट होता है, चबाने की कोशिश करते हैं, ये बहुत ही ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है समझने के लिए कि बच्चे अच्छे रूप से खाना खा रहे हैं और उनको पसंद आ रहा है। हम लोग ये नहीं कह सकते कि बच्चों को पसंद नहीं आ रहा है या थोड़े से नखरे कर रहे हैं। बच्चा जैसे ही हमें खाते हुए कुछ देखता है, बच्चा उसे माँगना शुरू कर सकता है, और यही कारण होता है कि हमको उनको देना या उनको ये खाना परोसना बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है। So this is the way we start introducing complementary food. Now I have a question from a user saying that my child only eats a particular fruit. What do I do? Over here, I would like to take this question and tell that what your child must be in the age bracket of 7 to 8 months, and you might have introduced for 2 to 3 weeks continuously the same fruit, and that is the reason that child is habituated to that. अब यहाँ पे ये हैबिट फॉर्मेशन बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है, क्योंकि उसको यही एक आदत लगाई गई है सिर्फ एक फल खाने की. सो यू चेंज द फ्रूट एंड यू सी द रिएक्शन. Probably lemon is something which is not accepted by all children. Then there is, probably citrus fruits are not really accepted by initially by all children. But as you keep changing the form of the fruits, the child will start loving the fruits, the child will start loving the vegetables, the child will start loving the different forms of soups that you're preparing. And in this manner, we are introducing complementary foods which are very very essential for the child. Another question from the user, it is that what kind of foods that I should avoid when I'm introducing. Now this is a very good question, because I was coming to the point that when your child is between 6 to 8, 12 months of age, there are 4 categories of food which you should avoid introducing. One is meat and meat products, one is eggs, one is nuts, and one is cow milk. Now, the reason for these products to be avoided is that the babies can have food allergies developed when we are introducing these products on during this time. Second thing, we have to understand that these products can cause an allergy, not necessarily they will trigger, but definitely they, if you give eggs or if you give seafood or if you give nuts, it could be a triggering factor for the just the gut intestinal disturbances, and the child might end up in having diarrhea or loose motions, which could be uncontrollable. That is why the pediatrician also recommends that we do not take these food products into consideration. Now, in the rural areas, it is a very common practice for introducing cow milk in the first 3 months or after the 6 months. But over here, I would like to state that cow milk causes a lot of allergies if it is introduced in the wrong way. Second, I would like to tell you that when you're giving cow milk, you have to understand that it has to be diluted. Cow milk is something which is very heavy to digest for the child's immune system. Okay, it has to be diluted and it has to be introduced after the age of 1 year. Some form of allergies would be, cow milk protein intolerance or lactose intolerance, which needs a lot of treatment, and it becomes very difficult for the doctor to evaluate on why these allergies are progressing in spite of keeping a stoppage of cow milk. Third thing I would like to talk to you over here is about introducing water to the child. Now most of the parents forget of giving water because it has not been a part of the routine when they were breastfeeding. So water is something which you need to start giving to the child. Either you put a dropper or you give a spoon and a katori and you start giving the child through sips. Now this is important. I can help you to understand that water is the basic necessity of life. When we are giving water to the child, we also have to understand that this water is a pure form and it helps for the 70% of the bodily fluids. So blood, urine count, the necessary potty which the child passes has is all dependent on water. And when we are introducing complementary food, we have to take it into consideration for introducing water minimum 20 ml after every feed. So you've done with your breastfeeding, you've given your breakfast, then you give 20 ml of water, then you do your breastfeeding again, with definitely with a gap of around every 2 hours. Understand that introducing complementary food is not a challenging task, but it is a task which requires a lot of planning. It is a task which requires a lot of science goes behind how do we introduce the complementary food. The child can have gases, the child can have pain, the child can vomit sometime, the child can have watery diarrhea, the child can pass green color stools, the child can pass orange color stools. Understand what are the food substances that you are giving it to the child, because the digestion power of the child will be slowly improving. It is not overnight, it is not within 15 days, but yes, it is going to be very beneficial, because we need to understand that these kind of foods is what is going to form the base for a healthy nutrition outlook. Okay, and I'm going to talk about a few questions which have come from the users end on how do we consider which foods are correct for my child. Well, as I told you, the foods which can be avoided, which are meat, that is, chicken, fish, eggs, can be avoided, dry fruits can be avoided, cow milk can be avoided. Okay, if you keep your child away from all these things, then the other foods like dal, chawal, sometimes roti, sometimes jawar atta, besan ka atta, ragi atta, these are very healthy, very nutritious. Idlis can be given, or upma can be given, pongal can be given, dalia khichdi can be given. Then you have ragi upma, then you have oats upma, cutlet, potatoes, you have cucumber, you have tomatoes, you have all the different fruits like banana, chiku, mangoes if the season is available, you have watermelon. So these are an explicit variety of fruit food groups that we can give. We can also give curd, we can give paneer, we can give buttermilk. Okay, so when we are talking about these food products, definitely you are getting a lot of nutrition, and it is going to be very very beneficial in terms of the quality and the quantity that you are giving to your child. So when you get all these things, definitely the child is going to take some time to adjust with the body, and then definitely move ahead in accepting the different kind of food. So I have given a lot of information today, I have answered the questions, and I have also told you different tricks and ways in which you can definitely help your child to survive in a better way. See, introducing complementary food is not difficult. It is a task of planning, and it is a task of understanding what the child is demanding, or rather what nutrition food can you provide to the child. Second, also I would say that you have to be very very efficient in giving good amount of water. Okay, but last but not the least, that when we follow these steps, the end result is a child's weight gain is going to happen. It is going to be slow, but yes, definitely the weight gain is going to happen. And for that, you need to have a regular check with the doctor. If there is any colic pain, you can ask the experts on Baby Chakra app. We will be available to answer your queries. You can write to us at Baby Chakra, and you can read on Baby Chakra a lot of articles on how, what kind of different recipes we can start. Follow me for more tips, for more guidelines. Okay, I am Dr. Pooja, I'm your community expert, and I am there to guide you for a wonderful upbringing of your child. So stay tuned for some more live sessions. We are going to come on Monday and Wednesday from 1 to 1:30, and we will be talking about different aspects of how pregnancy and nutrition related queries would be resolved with experts or with me as an community expert. Thank you for sparing your time. See you soon.